I might be streaming though. Well, it's saying I'm getting data. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Let's
Hello,
try to.
everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast.
Well, I haven't started streaming yet.
Oh,
And hold it. Go.
hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast. I am Ryan. With me is
Zero. And that's all we have tonight, it seems.
welcome to Kamen Rider Zero-One, episode 23. Uh, so, uh, we were talking last week about how Guy was like, "I'm gonna take away Zero-One's powers," and then he gave him his strongest form yet. Well,
Right.
it locked out his driver, and right now that's the only form he can use. So my question is, can't Satellite Zaya just make a new one?
Oh, a new driver. Yeah, that's a good point.
Like,
Um,
maybe there's a program where it's like they only want one to exist, but
right. That's a good point. I was gonna say like, well, good job, guy. You freaking you bricked Zero One's driver. Um, so that's a good point. But yeah, shit, I didn't even think about the yeah, like say I could just make another one. That is a good point. Um, well then again, like technically you don't know if Zaya made the driver. I mean, it would make sense because Zaya makes everything else, but you never actually see them making the driver, so maybe they don't have that functionality. They just have the keys. Um, but yeah, you're right. It's super weird. Also, like a really weird point comes later on when it's like, um, the new form uses the fucking axe. I know why they do it. It's so like Fua can then take it away and use it in gun form. But I'm like why is the axe here? Like Zaya shouldn't give you access. Like why are you powering up the rampaging monster form, Satellite Zaya?
so
Right? Like everything else is bricked out, but like the sword's not. I mean, like the axe.
so one counterpoint when in episode 1 we see Izu using Zaya to make the belt in the first place.
Oh god, that's a good
Yep.
point. Then it's really stupid. It's like why not, right? Well, maybe they'll come to that conclusion, but unlikely. Which is really weird because this comes from the guy who Rexade, so it's like how many belts are there? Who cares? They're infinite belts. We can just keep making more of them, right? Like holy shit, I was amazed Nico didn't get a goddamn belt. Um, yeah, that's weird. Also, yeah, that is really weird, man. Like maybe they'll address that, but if they don't, it's weird. Also, we had a comment last week.
Okay.
Yeah, from Rockman Fan 100. The fact, and this is what they said. The fact that Arto's entirely justified anger also does not solve this problem is yet again Zero One showing it knows how to beat its hero down when it needs to. It's a good point. Most good heroes don't win by letting themselves lose their cool. I don't know about that. It's fucking Rider, right? I mean, like maybe like Western superheroes, but Rider, like you get pissed to get a power up, man.
Agito
And
got
that's
so angry he punched God without his rider powers.
oh god, that's a good point. That is a good point. Oh man, yeah. There's so many, dude. Like, there's so many writers who just get ticked. I mean, like, yeah, usually they're cool, but like, it's a writer trope, right? Like when a writer gets pissed off, like shit happens. And that's certainly not an admirable trait for the head of a major corporation to have. That is a good point, but again, writer. P.S. With a plot about whether or not humans can control their darkest impulses, something that's set up right at the start with how heated he gets fighting Thouser and carries right to the end with Metal Cluster Hopper. still on the fence with Yua of her smiling when she got praised by Guy. Maybe she does really want to get rid of Hidan no matter what. Oh, that's a good point. I don't know. I feel like Yua's just waiting for her chance. Like I feel like if anybody, because they're like, oh shit, we need the code, right? In this episode, it's like, oh, of course Yua's gonna hand over the code, right? If she doesn't hand it over, then there's like no saving her. But like I feel like Yua definitely does not want like Hidan to like totally fall down, because she even questioned like, why are you trying to take it over, and or like destroy Zero-One when you can just take over the company and then like get the belt, right?
Yeah.
um yeah, so I feel like she's just following Guy's orders, but like she doesn't want to really do it. So like he might have hidden like a backup way to restore the driver or something. As for, yeah, that fight last episode, or yeah, last episode, right? Was really well done, honestly. Um oh, we'll get into it about Guy and all that when we get to it this episode.
Yeah. So, this episode's plot, Chiharu, again played by Yellow Buster, has called off her marriage with her fiance, even though he was cleared innocent. Apparently, he's just not marriage material. So now she wants Aruto to use a Humagear to find her a match. And to Aruto's surprise, they have that service.
Dude, that was so weird. I mean, they like, it's weird that they had that service, but like they write it well enough that like this is the type of character who would go to that. Because like I guess they're just like expanding. This is like just hey, this is your profile, match their profile, and go for it. So I guess it makes sense. Like even guys like, well,
I
we're just
signed up
looking for
for
matches.
a matchmaking service. I didn't tell them to put it into a Humagear's hands.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember that part, but that's a good point.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's just a matchmaking company, and they happen
then
to
the human
employ
gear just works
Humagear.
there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
oh man, that's funny.
what's really
That
funny
is,
is that when Aruto goes with her to check it out, the vice president is also there using the service.
dude. That was, honestly, I was hoping there would be something more happening there, but like, it's fine.
No, he just tries to play it off like, oh, well, our company's at stake, so I'm also checking out our business is.
To be fair, it's that's kind of like the standard. Like, okay, even if he wasn't like a sleazebag at times, like honestly, you just caught your coworker at a dating service. Like, I doubt many people would admit that they're there. Yeah, I know it's super hard to deny why you're here, but like most people would try to come up with some bullshit. So I could kind of let that slide. Um, and the vice, man, like the VP's freaking Android assistant lady is harsh because she just like spills all the beans. Um, and then like Yuzu doubles down. It's like, oh man, it's so harsh. I mean, again, it makes sense. This was like weirdly way more comedic than I thought this episode was gonna be. I mean, it makes sense because like dark shit is going down. So oh no, we can't scare the kitties. So I gotta lighten it up. But like I was not expecting it to get this lightened. Also, we have two people viewing, so that's cool. Hello,
Yay.
people. If you have something to say, type it on the chat and we'll respond.
Alright, so, moving forward with the episode, uh, the Humagear helping out Chiharu is Match, and he's played by Blue Buster. We're one away from a Go Buster reunion here.
Are we?
Yeah, we got Yellow
Um,
Buster and Blue Buster. And it's funny that
aren't
this
there
is
like
airing at this time because
with
Power
Power
Rangers
Rangers
Beast Morphers returns uh,
this week?
this weekend, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Oh man, that's great. Um, Man, Blue Buster's actor is really fucking good too. He's got like so much expression. I mean, he does like one thing that's like super questionable, like near the end, but we'll get to that nonsense. But otherwise, like honestly, it was a well acted job. It's just it kind of comes off as a little bit shallow for Yellow Buster's character. But then again, it is that would also explain why she agreed to like marry a guy after a month and like give him all this money,
Right.
right?
She's
So I mean,
desperate.
yeah, well, kind of. Yeah, I guess that is a good way. She's more gullible, but yeah, you're right. It does explain like the desperation. So like it does work for the character, but eh, like the characters in this episode, they're not great characters. They're just played by really decent actors.
Well, she has such particular standards in her men, such as someone who will be upfront and honest with her, that there's only one man to be her perfect match.
This is
Thouser.
this is so good. Okay, honestly, no. The funniest thing is it's not that she's a perfect match for Thouser. This is the only match that Thouser
Yeah,
has.
yeah, that's the real answer.
Oh man, that's so good. I was like, wait, what? Like, how could this possibly work with trying to
Yeah,
match Thouser to him? And then they like explain like Thouser's like personal issues. I'm like, oh yeah, I can see it.
yeah, no.
Where like this is all he's got. Um, but it okay, like that's really funny. It does kind of lead into something that's kind of annoying because it's like, well, what's your match? And it's like, this is kind of feeding into that bullshit of like opposites attract or a person should like complement the traits of another person, which is like total bullshit in real life. But like for a show and stuff, I guess that trope works. But like, goddamn, man, like that kind of crap never lasts in real life. But at least you got to have a good laugh at Thouser's expense.
God, it's so good.
I
Like,
know. Yeah, go ahead.
it's like, all right, introduce yourself, and then Yua like starts introducing Thouser for him, and even
Yeah,
Naruto's just
like
like, is he
it's
making
his
you
resume.
say that?
I know. It's like, what is this, an advertisement? I was like, oh fuck, that's so good.
And then when Thouser does speak up, it's like, oh, I'm an eternal 24-year-old. Izu immediately, not having any of that shit. He's 45.
I was like, Izu, like not cool, like revealing an age, but I'm like, honestly, it's better to be upfront and honest because then like the person can decide, and then like Thouser corrects like, no, eternally 24.
Izu
I
is
was
just
like,
not having any of his shit.
oh fuck, that was good. Yeah.
Oh man.
Uh,
And
okay,
then
well, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Match does like start listing off all of Thouser's like worst qualities and how this is the only relationship that worked for him, and Yua is just covering her mouth, trying not to show how she's laughing.
Dude, that was such a great moment. Like, okay, I hope Thouser fucking dies because this kind of sets up an annoying thing of like, well, this character exists and that character exists, and they had like one decent scene or something. Therefore, we have no idea what these characters are, and they're gonna end up hooking up. Like, I don't fucking want Thouser and you are to hook up in the show or in a movie or any of this crap. Like, fuck that. Unless we're doing like the power of love, which is super unlikely. So good for that. But goddamn, Thouser getting owned so hard. He just like storms off. It's like fuck this. I don't have to take this from a machine, pretty much. And then he walks off with his stupid white umbrella. I was like, oh my god, so good.
What a tool.
uh, fuck, it's so good. Well, at least that building remains standing. Unlike the last time. Well, maybe not the last time, but like, goddamn. I just remember Ryuki and them like just totaling the shit out of that
Oh
guy's
God.
apartment.
Oh man.
That's that
That
episode is so good.
that is the most off the rails episode of Ryuki.
Oh, I know. It's so fucking good. Wait, is that the one that like they get that like card? No, no, no. That's not true. That's a different episode where like they have like
It's the one.
Knight, Zelda, and Asakura, and they're like talking. Is Shinji an idiot? And then like Asakura doesn't raise his hand. And it's like, oh wow, you believe? It's like I don't give a shit. It's like,
Uh,
oh man,
no,
that's a
but like
different episode. But
that's a.
holy shit, that the dating one is so good.
But like they.
Um, yeah, like the only one I think maybe has more like real heart behind it is the one where it seems like it was raining, so they couldn't shoot anything, so they're all just sitting on fucking chairs with umbrellas. And then they decide to go eat like dinner later on, and there's like this awesome dinner scene. I'm like, that's probably the best Ryuki moment. But go ahead, Rory.
I was saying that like they thought that a guy was like kidnapping women, and so they use Yui as bait, and they stake the guys out, and it's like no, he's just being hunted by a monster who attacks the people that he brings home.
Well, I mean, yeah, which is really funny because it's like, I mean, the monsters only. Wait, is that the one with the neighbor, right? No. Yes.
Neighbor?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, because the neighbor is the one who's like setting the monster up. Okay, no.
No,
It's
he
seems like
doesn't
it's
know
big.
about the monster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking of another one with the neighbor and the freaking locket thing. And the monster comes out of the like mirror or something, and then like I know Yui, well maybe not Yui, but like the reporters are knocked out in that episode. Oh, that must be a different one. Yeah, but fuck, that's such a good episode of Ryuki because it's like, what the fuck is happening right now? This is like insane slapstick comedy shit. This is not writer. And that's what I fucking love about Ryuki, man. Because it's like, you know what? Screw it. Writer shit happens, but like the rest of their lives go on too. So like it's great to have that stuff. And that's why I kinda love that moment where a guy like totally gets owned because it's like, yeah, it's weird that he needs a wife too, because I'm like, that's weird because like he said like he doesn't like human contact or any of that shit. So it's a little out of character, but like I guess it makes sense.
And like
Maybe.
a lot lately in Rider, you don't see a lot of them just dealing with normal scenarios. But this is one of those situations where it's literally Aruto's job, so this kind of is like his normal life now.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, that is a good point. Like I think the last time I could really think of was like that one episode of Wizard. Well, like some Wizard moments have it, but like O's definitely was the last time it was a decent element because them doing normal shit.
Oh
But
yeah,
like Zio, fuck all. Like that happened.
X8
Um,
build, fuck all.
yeah. I mean, Ghost kind of. I mean, it's they were in a small like Ghost is so like family togetherness anyway because like the whole cast is kind of like this weird disjointed family, so it kind of always feels like they're doing other stuff, but in reality they're always just fighting the monsters, so it doesn't actually happen. I mean, like their job is just to be ghost hunters, whereas like it's sort of like in Double where they're detectives, so they have to come up and run into the monsters, and that's just their regular shit. um so yeah, it's that's a little iffy, but yeah, it's been a while, man. And honestly, that's what I kind of like because it like it throws back. And that's the thing. Like most people are like, oh right, it's like Rider or Sentai. It's superhero stuff, but it's not super realistic. Kind of. I'm like, yeah, but some of the older ones were like that, where it's a little bit more drama, a little bit more like Western heroes, where it's like, yeah, you have your life in the costume, and then you have your other life outside the costume, and shit still happens, right? Like just because you're the hero, you don't have like a good time all the time. Like it's very much the Spider-Man thing, and like earlier, Heisei Rider definitely had that feel. We've kind of lost that over the years, which is honestly kind of a disappointment. I know why. It's because we have so many more writers and so many more gimmicks. Like we don't have time. But like I wish they would like tone it down. Like we don't need all this shit. Um, then again, like the show is doing a decent job, so like I can't really blame it. It's just the modern formula takes up so much time that like what else can you do, right?
Right. So the meet and greet is interrupted when a raid riser attacks. Uh, Seemed like he may have specifically targeting Match, the Humagear. Despite
Yeah,
Izu telling Aruto, you shouldn't transform, Aruto can't help himself and jumps in to fight anyways.
yeah. This is kind of annoying because I'm like Ardo, man. Like trust your friends, right, to deal with this because you don't have it under control. And he's like, "Well, I'm the only one here." I'm like, "That's not true, man. Just pick up the phone
Yua
and
is
call."
already fighting.
Right? It's so stupid. Uh,
And
but
Fua shows up like soon during the fight, so he was
right,
already tracking this guy down.
it's so stupid. I mean, at least Yua got to transform, and we haven't seen that in a while, so
Yeah,
that's cool. Actually, both of her forms are in this episode, and they have pretty decent teamwork with Fua and Yua, so that was great. But like Arto, like man, what the fuck are you doing? Like if Thouser wasn't like super strong and also almost suicidal, with the way he's doing his shit, like you could kill people.
yeah, I still
But
don't get why he keeps intentionally getting his ass beat by Metal Cluster Hopper.
I
Like,
think he just wants to check how strong he is, but I'm like, what's the
I think he
point? Like,
just has like a hard on for what he did.
maybe. I feel like he's trying to figure it out because like it feels like I was like, okay, I'm attacking directly, that's not working. Like the first fight he couldn't damage it at all. This fight he's like, okay, well I can't do it up front attack, so I'll fake it and attack from behind. That didn't work. Maybe next fight he's gonna have a better chance. So it's like he's working through it. But I'm like, dude, you're so lucky. People keep showing up to like de-henshin this guy because otherwise you'd be dead. But like I guess this is one of those things where it's like it's the very like shocker mentality of like, dude, this is clearly an enemy. Just blow them up. It's like, no, no, no. I want to fight them to the limit and win. It's like, no, man. Just stop. Right? It's just like hubris. I think that's what's going on where it's like he is like finally a decent challenge. So now I can get stronger or whatever. But it's like, god damn, this is insane. Um
Also,
yeah.
you know how I said we were basically having like a mini Go Busters reunion? Well,
Yep.
when Fua does steal the axe from Aruto and he switches it to gun mode, its gun call is ready for Buster.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that too. Also, we have 3 people viewing now. That's awesome. Thanks, people. Comment if you want. Your thoughts on all this insanity of Guy continuing to fight even though it's super dangerous, and Naruto
He,
continuing to henshin even though it's super dangerous. But
he,
yeah, I know. I also caught that the ready for Strum. Like that's a great move. Also, Naruto keeps yelling "best match." I'm like, what do you build? Like, is that like a writer catchphrase now? Is like
Just
showtime?
just get all the writer references in here.
Right. Right. I'm like, the damn reference show was last year, bro. What are you doing? You're in a different continuity. You can't do this.
But he is.
I know. Um, yeah, that was weird. Those are like, okay, they're not even competing this episode, right? So like, why does the like, why is there monster of the week? I mean, I guess we could see like, um, one of the Matsuro Jinrai, like the free one, gave him the belt, but it's like, why, right? Like, at first I'm like, it feels like guys planning this, but like this isn't even a challenge. This is just a random thing that happened, right? So this is like not challenge number 4. So it's like, why is this happening?
Yeah, no, this one isn't a challenge. This is just something that's happening during the in between.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the weakest part of this episode is the monster of the week. Where
Yeah,
it's like,
no.
yeah, you can kind of justify him being here, but like barely.
It's it's just a guy that's like the girl I have a crush on is basically in love with a Humagear. Because let's face it,
Right?
she is going super hard for match.
Well, I mean, it is Yellow Buster, so. um, but yeah, it is weird. Like the worst part is, okay, if we solve this and it's like, oh, my hero, right? Which is basically what the hell this is ending up with. Now I'm gonna marry you. It's like, oh god, like, no, right? Like, this is fucked up. Let's not go down that path. Yeah, let's not do that. That is like fucking nice guy nonsense bullshit writing. I mean, like, okay, yeah, that is a trope, but that's just a artifact of how like screenplays and shit are written, where it's like, oh, you can't win somebody's love because like they're the obstacle, and you have to win them, and you have to go through this struggle, and you win. Basically, you wear them down, and you win. And it's like, yeah, that's a movie formula. It is not real life, people. Like, let's not perpetuate that stereotype. Like, goddamn, let's not do that. Um, so that's again like a really annoying part of this episode. But other than that, I mean, uh, the other annoying part is Match going like basically becoming a monster of the week also after one slap, but it clearly feels like he planned it. But I'm like, can you do that? Can Human Gear just be like, yo,
Okay, so this that slap is proof that the Humagears are not actually choosing to go berserk. They are being infected because Match knew what would happen and he was ready for it.
see, I was thinking it's like they are choosing. It's like he got hit, and then he just went like, fuck it, connecting to the satellite. Hey, satellite, here's my proof
No,
that I got. Yeah,
I think it's
okay.
the opposite. I think he was prepared to like just get her to like because she was clearly crushing on him. He wanted to push her away from him. Like,
Yeah, I
no,
got that part.
you shouldn't love me. And it was very genuine, and so he was prepared for her to slap him. But then the violence triggered something, the hack that is inside the human gears that the arc breaks in through. Like, nope, human violence against human gears. Humans are evil.
Okay, that's interesting. See, I was reading it as like he knew that he was gonna get hacked, and so he was going like Plan A, recital. Maybe the other monster of the week, like the bride's friend, would come in. That didn't happen. So he's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna just tell her off now because this is a bad idea." That didn't. Well, it kind of worked. And then he got slapped, and it's like, okay, Plan C, where it's like I'll become the monster, and then the other guy's gonna come and rescue his princess or whatever the fuck. Like, That was weird. I felt like he knew that he was gonna change, but you're right. Maybe it could be just the satellite automatically sees any human gear in danger and infects them. Not enough information right now, but if it's the first one, that's cool. I mean, if it's your theory, that's cool. If it's my theory, that's really damn stupid. Because like it would just continue to add to this episode being like a little more lazily written than the rest, which I'm not really a fan of. Um, but before that, we get the greatest fucking scene. Hey Izu, can you tell me some bad words? Why do you need that? Oh my god.
I just need them.
Yep, it's for science. I promise. It's important research. I'm like, all right. Izu said like maybe two. No, he goes out for like a full minute, I think, and then like
He
they
said some
censor him.
pretty horrible things too.
Dude, like the last one, you pretty much know what he said. I was like, holy shit. Show.
Like he is a robot. He is a robot who studies relationships. There is no way he would think that he could say that and not get slapped for it.
Yeah, I love how even Naruto is like, how did you even learn such words?
And Izu's just like guilty face.
Oh, dude, that was so good. But again, that kind of feeds into it. Like, of course, Izu would tell him. Like, why would she not? Robots telling robots, right?
He,
Like they
he had
have
a
no like,
request. It sounded
yeah,
reasonable.
right, exactly. Oh man, that's so good. Holy shit. This is what I love about this show, like the sweet moments like that, where it's like it's just complete nonsense. But like it makes perfect sense why these robots are acting doing this dumbass shit. Ah, it's so good. Oh fuck. Man, seriously, like guy getting told off and that scene pretty much saved this whole episode.
Uh, so, uh, I'm struggling to remember how this episode ends, and I'm like clicking through the episode. Uh,
Um yeah, I mean it's weird, man. You know what the
oh,
most annoying thing is? Tasha keeps like throwing back the damn ammo
oh,
cluster.
that's right. Aruto does a double rider kick.
Yep. And I was like, wait, is that double? I'm like, nah, that's split. It's like, no, this fucking X8 with Mighty Brothers for
Right.
the two rider kick. I'm like, oh, it's nice. That was actually really sweet, man. Like this form is so cool because it has like perfect defense, like attack multiple opponents, like range can split up and attack. Like, oh, it's such a cool ass form. If it wasn't evil, it'd be great. And I mean, maybe it turns good next episode, which is kind of lame. This is
Once
happening a bit too
Aruto
fast.
gets control of it.
Yeah, unless Yua helps them, it's gonna be real lame. That it only lasted like 3 episodes of being crazy. But I guess then again, like Build's one only lasted a couple episodes too, right?
Hazard trigger, yeah.
Yeah.
But Build was like, I can figure this out.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, that's true. It's part of his character to figure it out.
I kind of like that AG's like Berserk form stayed a Berserk form throughout the series.
Right, like no control over this thing.
He just kind of started playing into it later on. Like, if I can't control it, I might as well embrace it.
Yeah. And I mean, the only other maybe better form type thing like that would be like Blades one, where it's like, well, fuck it. If I use this, bad shit will happen, but I'm gonna have to use it, and he uses it, and then bad shit happens. um, so like, yeah, like Blades ultimate form is pretty much like the best thing. I was like, yeah, this thing has consequences. Guess what? It had consequences for me using it. Um, and yeah, O's also does a great job. That's what I like, man. Like if a form has a limit, fucking use the limit. You know, right? Like use if it's like this is the rule for using this form. Use the rule for using the form. If you start like going around it, it just makes it like any other form. It's boring then. Especially when they're like really strong forms. Like okay, that's a good limit for why they're not just whipping out their strongest forms right now. Especially for Rider, because Rider's whole thing is like they could pretty much be monsters of the week if it wasn't for them choosing not to be. So like if a form basically forces them to kind of go berserk, it just kind of like really highlights the like razor thin line that riders have to walk on to use their powers.
And so, next week's episode is just resolving this little plot line where uh, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, maybe Aruto does get control of it.
Oh, you know what was funny? They go to the like wedding recital thing, and then Izu's like, "Hey, look, it's the actor humor gear." It's like, "Yeah, I asked him here for more realism." I was like, "Okay, that's a nice touch for reusing a character, or at least just an actor. That's pretty
Right.
cool." Um, what else happened this episode that was cool? Um, I mean, not a lot, honestly. It was just kind of like one thing after the other. Okay, I'm actually kind of amazed that the like vice president and those guys showed up. Because
Yeah,
I'm
they
like, holy
haven't been
shit.
around for since this arc started. Actually,
Right, exactly. Like maybe they're gonna play a part in helping solve Arto and get his belt back, but it's super unlikely. Like it'd be a good moment for them, but it's not gonna happen. Hopefully you join starts helping the good guys though. That'd be cool. Um right. Freaking uh Hirobi said that like Zaya is basically not Zaya.
arc.
Arc is basically building up to their ultimate plan, and it's like you're just gonna. I'm not gonna tell you. You're gonna have to wait and see. So I'm like, Hirobi actually knows something, so that's interesting. So like, Arc could be a villain after Guy, which
Yeah,
is interesting
I,
because it feels like Guy is controlling Arc, or at least it did for a
so
while. I don't know what the hell is happening.
Guy thought he was controlling arc, and he was basically stealing information. And now that Hirobi is aware of that, he's probably wirelessly relayed that to the Ark, and they're like, "All right, that's not happening anymore."
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Also, isn't there like only one of those stupid drivers?
The Raid
Like,
Riser? I don't know.
yeah, no,
I
or
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Like,
because
if the
I
Ark knows how to make them, then they can just replicate more.
yeah, that's a good point. I felt like there was one because they're like, oh, Matsuro Jinra is defeated, and then like, oh shit, the police custody or holdings facility got broken into, and then they took the driver. I'm like, okay, so I guess there's one. Um, but you're right, the arc's fully functional, so they could
Like,
be more.
then again,
Because I know Guy had it back, so I'm like, what the fuck? Why is there a second one?
there could be a second one, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Well, it's all gonna actually depend on who the fuck that fourth member of Matsuro Jinrai
Right,
is.
Bo.
Yeah,
I
because
still think it's the person going around infecting humans.
well, yeah, that makes sense. But it's like, who is that? I mean, arc wise, like, what's their deal gonna be? Like, are they gonna help the arc? Is arc gonna even be a thing, or are they gonna be a thing? Because Hmm. This is an interesting situation because, like, honestly, nobody's a threat right now because, like, Metal Cluster Hopper is so OP, right?
Right.
But then the thing is, like, well, okay, either Arto learns to use this and he beats Guy outright, or he doesn't use this again. Um, and then like, okay, fine. So the Guy situation is gonna be handled, and then what happens? Does Arc come into play? Because I'm like, how the fuck does like Matsuro Jinrai do anything? Because like Hirobi's there, but I guess Hirobi's not the main player right now.
No. So yeah, we had the Metsubo Jinrai arc. Uh, and right now we're in the Thouser arc. And so I think after this it gets resolved, we're gonna go back to Metsubo Jinrai for the arc.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, I mean, it's better than another Agito, which they didn't do. Those fucking cowards. They didn't. They just call. Oh, more Agitos are attacking. You fucking die.
They
It's just
knew
a
they
swarm of
knew they wrote
Agito.
themselves into a corner and they refused to admit it.
I know it's so stupid. God damn it! They should have just done it. But whatever. It's fine. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Honestly. Hmm. I mean, if Guy is not controlling the arc, like maybe he becomes their like get him character and like helps them fight it, which is like the only possible redemption arc that Guy can have, which is like fixing his mistake because anything else and like fuck him, he can die. Because
Right.
like he doesn't like this character living helps no one.
With that being said, I'm hoping that Thouser stays a villain to the end. I'm kind of
Oh
tired of
yeah.
every villain rider becoming a good guy.
Yeah. Especially
Right,
because
you.
this guy is so
What are you
clearly
talking about? How could every villain rider become a good guy? Evolt.
Evolt's not our writer. Oh
Kamen Rider
yeah.
Evolt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
And they tried turning him into a good guy in
Oh
that
god, they
fucking
did.
movie.
They did turn him
Yeah,
into a fucking anti-hero. You're right, that's the worst.
and
Holy
I'm sick of it.
fuck. I am so done. Jesus, that movie was so
That movie was
terrible.
terrible, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Evol's brother is kind of fun, but like that movie is terrible. Um.
Kilbis is what Evo should have been from the start.
Oh god, Kilbis is like so good, dude. Fuck that. Kilbis and who's the time jacker from the movie? The
Uh,
fourth one,
Tid.
right? Yeah, those two should have been in the show. God damn, those shows would have been so much better. Like, holy fuck. Anyway, yeah. Um, man, if Shocker is showing up at this point, holy fuck, Shocker better show up. Otherwise, I'm gonna look like a complete idiot. Um, but like the hints are like way too much there that like guy's a cyborg, so like it would make sense. Or at least like some evil organization that's basically Shocker. Um, but then again, like that seems like that's gonna be like the final arc. So yeah, there is enough room for like another Matsubo Jinrai thing going on in the middle. It's gonna be interesting to see. Um, oh, I wonder. Okay, you know what? Metal. If he gets control of Metal Cluster Hopper, can he then use his stupid progress keys? I hope not, because one, they don't do anything, so just get rid of them. Um, and two, like give it to like one of the other riders, right? Because like, well, I can't use it, so give it to like Fua or actually no, Fu has a power up. Give it to Yua.
Yes, honestly, you would just switch sides and get a free power up.
Yeah, because like she's smart enough to use it. Like she doesn't need the strongest form. She's clever enough to like mix and match and figure it out. So I'd be cool with that. Um, but anyway, I guess now we're like super rambling. Yeah. So thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll catch you next week.